I am getting a little sick and tired of this Armenian genocide because they never talk about the first genocide, and that is the 301, when we officially, as a country, recognized Christianity as our faith. Nobody knows that Armenians went through the biggest genocide in history. They were murdered, they were tortured, in every sense of the word, just slaughtered. So that what the Turks did to the Armenians is a walk in the park to what the Christians, the first Christians, did to the Armenians. And this is very controversial, and I can't keep it to myself. I've been in this situation for maybe over a year now, where I found out about everything. I found out the truth about my people, and these are my ancestors, and I am very embarrassed that I did not know what they did to my people. And my religion was a beautiful religion. My religion was the religion of the world. In ancient times, other nations would come to the Armenians and basically copied our religion, and thank God they did. Traces of our religion can be found in Zoroastrianism. I'll be talking about that too. Traces of our religion can be found in Hinduism and Buddhism, and even Native Americans. Now, it's a long story. You know, Armenians, these people, my people, are an enigma. Our history is an enigma. Christianity destroyed Armenian highlands. As you see, I say Armenian highlands. They were the power. They were the power for thousands of years of that area. And Islam destroyed Persia. Armenians and Persians were the power of basically the entire world, okay? And they had to create something to destroy. In order to destroy these Armenians, they had to destroy their religion. Their religion, the religion of the Armenians, had to do with the universe, had to do with mathematics, had to do with science, had to do with chemistry. If you study the ancient Armenian religion, it had to do with the universe. To give you an idea, our oldest petroglyphs are from 25,000 to 50,000 years old. And in these petroglyphs are found cross. We have thousands of crosses in our petroglyphs. Cross. Why? Because they stole our religion. Christians took part of our religion, our literature, our knowledge, okay, and incorporated and made it into a Christian. Anyway, our alphabet it's not 7,000 years old. It's way older than that. It's at least like 20,000 years old. And this is, again, proven in our petroglyphs. And they excavate, the largest excavation done in Turkey was the Gugetli Tepe, Bortasar in Armenian. In Turkish, it's Gugetli Tepe. And Armenian scientists are not allowed to go in there. But that also proves Armenians and who they were and how much control they had. And so anyway, to make a long story short, so in order to break the Armenians, they had to break their religion, right? So they did. It started off with before Christianity, our religion was getting messed up. We were Mithraism. As a matter of fact, Zoroastrian, Persians are going to get mad at me. The priest of the Zoroastrian, his name was Zoroastrian. He was, now there are facts about this, he was a high priest in the Armenian highlands. He was a Mitraic priest who went to Persia and created Zoroastrianism. Now, one time I was listening to this Armenian Armenian historian, ancient historian, and Persian historian, and they were kind of like arguing about like whose religion was first. And the Armenian won because in the book of I forgot the name of the Zoroastrian book, but in their book it says, when this priest from Armenia, Mitraich priest from Armenia, goes and talks to this Zoroastrian priest. This is in their book. This is in your book, Persians. He goes, talks to him, and he introduces our gods like Aramazd, Anahit, our gods and our goddesses. So the Zoroastrian priest, not the Zoroastrian priest, because, okay, I don't know how to explain, but whatever was before Zoroastrianism in Persia, he was like, get that out of my way. You guys are demons. Your gods are demons. Now, this high priest said that to the Armenian priest. Now, so who came first? You know what I mean? You used to call me devil worshippers, and then you worshipped our God. Because Aramazd is our God. Aramazd is our high God. And then you have Anahit, for example, which is the goddess. So the Persian Zoroastrians say Aramazde. Aramazde is their god, and then Anahida is their goddess. So, okay, anyway. Now, a lot of Persians are going to hate me. A lot of Armenians are going to hate me. You're either going to hate me today or love me. So, I just have to say the truth. This means a lot to me. Where was I going for this? Okay. So, Armenians got destroyed. Our religion got destroyed in 300. Okay, Christians came, slaughtered us. They've been trying to bring Christianity in Armenia for way before 300 years, way before, okay? And they couldn't. And also they were trying to take it to Persia. So when they took this Christianity, this faith to Persia, Persia said, get the hell out of here. Get out of here. And just like scare them away. So they said, okay, we can't do Persia. So they went to Armenia. Now, Armenia before Christianity, it was kind of already getting messed up, our religion. As I said, Mithraism, they were bringing Hellenistic gods. You know, Aramaz became Hercules, and then Anahit became Diana, so on and so forth. Just FYI, okay, Diana, if you flip it, it's Anahit. So they would take our gods and flip the name. Okay, now on to the 300. Okay, so as I said, we became Christian 300, and then Persia was still Zoroastrian, and Muslims went into Persia and destroyed Persia, and they became Muslim. So Muslim went in there 400 years after Armenians became Christian, okay? So they said, okay, so we created this religion, we messed up Armenia, we have to come up with another religion to mess up Persia, because Persia and Armenians, they never had problems until they changed their religion, because they had similar religions. They never had problem with each other. That's why they had to break them. Rome had to break them. Rome had to go in to break them, and they did. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine, okay, if Armenians didn't become Christian, Persia would never have lost its power. Think about it. Because they would help them. Now, you're saying, how come Persia didn't help the Armenians? Yeah, they did. And there are some books, like most Armenians say Persians are horrible, they killed us, they slaughtered us. BS. You know what happened? Our old Armenians, the Armenians that hated Christianity, that were loyal to their religion, went to the Persians and said, brother, help me, help us, help us, help us. And that's because Armenians became separated, okay? People, now this is where the genocide comes. People who did not leave their God, like, you know what they would do to our Mitraich priests? They would basically cut their wrists and just slay their wrists and their feet, and throw them on the street, like on the streets. And if you were to give them water and if you were to try to help them, they would do the same thing to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this were our Christian fathers. These were the Christians. That's what they did. Now you're being surprised. You're saying Christians would never do that. Really? Did you forget about the Native Americans? What they've done to the Native Americans? Do I have to tell you what they've done to the Native Americans? Okay? Slaughtered them. Slaughtered them. I'm sorry, who slaughtered them? The Buddhists? No. Hindus? No. Persians? No. Who slaughtered them? The Christians and the Jews. This Judeo-Christian religion came here and slaughtered these people and forced them to become Christian. Okay? And Inquisition. This has been going on for thousands of years, ladies and gentlemen. And I am ashamed as an Armenian that I did not know this, because they would tell me in church, my family would tell me, do not go into the history, do not dig into the history, do not try to find out about your ancient Armenian, demons. They were demons. We were worshiping demons. You freaking idiots, pardon my Armenian. You idiot. If we were worshiping demons, you ignoramus, Armenians were the most powerful on the frigging planet for thousands of years. For thousands of years. And they were worshiping demons. As soon as they became Christian, compared to the Armenians compared to who we were, we became, I don't know, ants? We became like little ants, like sheep. It's just embarrassing. We lost everything. We lost our power. And then a king comes. One of my favorite kings is King Bop. He comes after Christianity. Not after Christianity, after Armenians were Christian, I think 200 years or something. And he tried to change, 100 or 200 years. And he tried to change back. He tried to go back to his ancestors' religion. And he was really powerful. He was doing that already. And he was actually kind of working with the Persians too. He was almost doing that. You know who killed him? The church. The church and the Romans killed him. You know why they killed him? Because 10% of the money of the entire GDP or entire money of the country will go to the church. And the church would feed, just losers, good for nothing, who didn't want to work. These are not Armenians, basically. These people who were losers and didn't want to work, I know I'm being a little rude, but this is the truth. These people were from outside. Rome, like all the filthiest, all the criminals of Rome, all the lowest class of Rome. Okay, they were Christians, remember. Came to Armenia. All the lowest class of Greeks, they came, you name it, Jews, and formed this religion. And basically this 10% of the money would feed them. If you read, these are in books, if you read Mesrop Mashtol's book, Mesrop Mashtol, became Christian. But his father was a very, very religious person. He worshipped Adamas, he worshipped our ancient gods. So in the book it says, where is father? The sister says to Mesrop, where is father? Where is he? Don't you know where he is? He says, don't you know where he is? He's worshiping every day. He worships. He went to church. And she was like, where? And he's like, don't you know? Adamas, he's worshiping our gods. What, you think he's going to worship the Christian God? And then she says, shh, please don't say anything. Don't say anything. Nobody has to know about this. Nobody has to know about this. We'll get in trouble. Please don't say anything. And then in the book it would say, I can't stand, like the father would say, I can't stand these losers. I can't stand these people. They stink. They're disgusting. They are destroying my gods. They're destroying my people and stuff like that. There's just so much information. Another thing is, so the Armenians, all their power, they they would put all the money, so the kings and the queens, they would put all the money in their armies, right? And their guns, and just the army. All the money, all the power was in the army. And then Christianity comes, all that money is being transferred to the church. So the church had full control of our country. So guess what? Ask yourself, how did the Mongols, today's Turkey, came into Armenia? Because that was our lands, right? Mongols are like, 1,000 years old. They didn't exist back in the day, okay? So how come they didn't stay in Persia? Because they kicked their ass, because they had army. They weren't Muslim, they weren't Islam yet. And then when they went to Armenia, they stayed there because there was no fighting, they just couldn't, because we have no guns, our army was weak, all that money was going into the churches, right? And the church didn't care about our country. Because those Christians weren't Armenian, ladies and gentlemen. They were not Armenian. These people who created this religion were not freaking Armenian. And I don't want to say what they were, but they created this religion to destroy my people. It was after my people recognizing Christianity that all these other places recognized, because they said, oh, if the Armenians recognized it, these Armenians, then we'll do it too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not aggrandizing, I'm not bragging about the Armenians, but we're all over the place. Sumerians, go into Sumerian texts. Sumerians were basically Armenians. These people, these Armenians, would travel from place to place. They will go to Iran, they will go to, they even came to Americas with the Native Americans. They even went to, and yes, they had ships. There are pictures of ships in our petroglyphs, so they did travel. They went to India, swastika. That's why everybody says, swastika is mine, swastika is mine. No, these people, these Armenians, everywhere they will go, they have the same proclivity. Every Armenian you see, wherever they go to Mexico, they build a church. They're a Christian church. They go to, Brazil, they build a church. They go to China. Everywhere they go, they put their signature there. That's who they are. That was their nature. So they went to Mesopotamia. They did a church there. They showed their gods there. They gave their knowledge to them. And in the Sumerian texts, there's over 200 or 2,000, according to Armen Arvazian, he's a linguist, Armenian linguist, either 200 or 2,000 words that are Armenian, that are literally Armenian. These are Sumerian texts, ladies and gentlemen. In these Sumerian texts, it says, the land of the gods. Why would they say the land of the gods? They would say Arata, the land of the gods. Think about it. Other facts that I want to give you, because most Armenians don't know, and most people don't know, lot of root words are Armenian. So if we weren't these old, if our language, if our letters, if our alphabet did not influence everybody else, then why are most of the root words Armenian? Greeks say mathematics is mine. I created mathematics. No, Armenians created mathematics. You know why? Because the root words are Armenian. You can't find the root words in Greek and Latin and no other language. You have to know Armenian to understand this. Okay, the root words. Matematika. 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 It means finger, 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 fingering. Finger, 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 pinky. Finger, 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 pinky. Root words, baby. How do you do mathematics? Even back in the day. 7 plus 3. So it's all, it's proven that chemistry, they were already doing chemistry in our ancient times. The oldest sword, I don't know how many thousands of years old, is found in Armenia, and on the sword there's arsenic. That's chemistry. You were learning chemistry. Arsenic is poison. Mathematics, chemistry, language, alphabet, astrology, the universe, all this, horse domestication, wine, the oldest wine factory is in Naidi, Armenia. What else? There's so many of them. I was going to say something. Astrology, the oldest 12, all the astrological signs are found in one place in Armenia that does not exist in any other place. They were practicing astrology. Astrology, that has to do with our gods, that it's the universe. It was all about science, and the universe. They were studying that. And you can't help but to ask yourself, that's why they were powerful. And ladies and gentlemen, another thing would be the pyramids. We are the only people that talk about these pyramids, this people that explained who built the pyramids. It's only found in our epic. It's only found in our epic that these huge people were building this building or whatever, carrying the stones on their back. I mean, they were giants. Our hike Nahapet was a giant, basically. There were giants in Armenia. I'm talking about old history. Our history has been destroyed, ladies and gentlemen. Our history has been destroyed. Our history is a lie. What's found are different bits of pieces that we put together. These Christians came and they destroyed our knowledge. They destroyed our literature. They burned thousands of churches, thousands of temples. I'm sorry. They burned all that. Destroyed it. And on those churches, on those temples, they build these Christian churches. They destroyed our knowledge. They burned, they didn't burn it. They took it. They even have it now. All those big people, all those powerful people who are controlling the world. These ancient knowledge, these ancient histories. Where do you think it comes from? Kabbalah and this and that. Yeah, you think they created that? Please, those are stolen information. And another thing, the Bible, they say the Bible was written 7,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, the Old Testament, and then the New Testament was written 2,000 years ago. That's a frigging lie. The entire Bible was written, that Old Testament, Tanakh, and the New Testament was written at the same time. So they're lying about that. They were written around the same time as they created our Bible. Do you understand? They created that at the same time. Okay, I don't want to lose my train of thought. Okay, King Bob. So Armenians even today, they kind of, a lot of Armenians, they hate him. They say he's a traitor. He went to, he was working with, Persia, Rome, working with other countries to destroy the church, which was Christianity. He basically said, yeah, you could still keep it. You could still worship whatever you want to worship in my country, but I want my gods to come back, and that money, you cannot have the 10%. I think he said you could only have 5% or something. So he was still being nice. And that's why they killed him. Had they not killed him, who knows? They would have probably brought back our religion. And another thing that I don't want to forget, I don't even have notes. I'm just saying this through memory. I'm just teaching this through memory. Is Tortat. He was the most powerful king, and Tortat was the king around that Christian time, around the 300, and who knows what happened. Tortat was a fanatic. He was a believer of our gods, of our pagan gods, and he changed his mind. I don't know what happened with Grigor, they say Lusavoric, who might call it Grigor Khavaric. He freaking destroyed our country. And most Armenians don't know that Grigor Lusavoric, who brought Christianity into Armenia, he was not Armenian, he was Parthian. This dude was not even Armenian, and Armenians followed him. Armenians followed his religion. I don't know what he did. I don't know, maybe he poisoned him, like the poison, they had stuff like that. He made him crazy. And then Tortat, our king, said, okay, I like this Christian religion. Anyway, but I said this to say this. I was listening to this historian, Armenian historian, and he said that there is a book, I don't know which book, don't ask me, where it says, and there's proof that, and everything was destroyed. We had sculptures, right? Sculptures of our gods. So he went to this broken sculpture before he died. He got really sick and he got really old. When he got really old and he got really sick, Tartat, the king that listened to this head of the Christian and destroyed our religion, people would say that he would go there and pray. And the last place he was found was there, praying to Aramas, to our God. That is so sad. When I think about that, I cry. He basically realized that they destroyed the country and he fell for it and he regretted it, but I guess it was too late. Ladies and gentlemen, now I always say, if you were to remove these Abrahamic, disgusting religions, yes, am I being mean? I have every right to be mean. My entire life, I was a fanatic. I studied the Bible. I did not. And those of you who judge me, you did not even open the Bible. You don't even know about the Bible. You don't know anything. I was a prolific Christian in every sense of the word for technically 40 years, 39 years. My family, that's all I knew. And I never wanted to go back. I never wanted to. I'm so ashamed of myself. Like, why didn't I want to know about my history? People would tell me, my family, like my grandma, don't talk about those gods. Don't talk about those gods. They're demons. They're demons. And I've never questioned, like, they're demons, but why are they demons? Let me go and see what they've done. You know, it's just embarrassing. I didn't do that. And most of you who are judging me right now, go back to your history. Go back to your ancestors. Do you know how painful it is that your ancestors are looking at you who were slaughtered? These Christians who slaughtered your ancestors are priests. I mean, can you imagine how they feel up there? You are basically worshiping their enemy. Again, if you were to remove this Abrahamic religion, which is the virus of the world, the virus, the cancer of our planet, it has destroyed our planet. 90% of problems is caused by them. Abrahamic religion, which is Judaism, Christianity, Islam, if you remove these three entities, these three religions, if magically they just disappeared, our planet, 90% of our planet's problems would disappear, would go away, ladies and gentlemen. They have destroyed us for thousands of years. They have destroyed us for thousands of years. Mixing people. Most Armenians of today are not true Armenians. That's why they're against this message. That's why they will be against this message. If you are a true Armenian, and same goes for the Persians, most Persians are not true-blooded Persians. They're just not. They're a mix. They're a mix of Arabs. They're a mix of Azerbaijan. They're a mix of, and you know that's the truth. They're a mix. Okay, Armenians. Well, that's a good mix. Armenian, Persian. A lot of Armenians are extremely mixed, especially Jewish. A lot of Armenians have a Jewish blood. Thousands of years ago, during Tigran, we had thousands and thousands of Jews living in Armenia, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if you don't believe that, we have been mixed. We have been mixed, trust me. A lot of Armenians are mixed with Jews. They have Jewish blood. They have Russian, Mongol blood, Turk blood, you know, you name it, Azerbaijan, whatever. They're a mix, Russian, you name it. That's why they don't have that heart. You know why I say that? Because if you're truly Armenian, you would listen to our ancient music and something will move in you. This is when I knew something was fishy. Something was not right. In a good way. I was following this guy, I don't know, this old guy from, I don't know where, Turkey or something, and he had this music on. I liked the scenery, and the scenery had a music on, so I listened to it and I started bawling and crying. Something in me was just like boiling. And I showed it to my mom. I'm like, Mom, what kind of music is this? Like, this is driving me crazy. What is this? She said, that's our ancient music. That's the what's that? He's our Bach. He's basically our Bach. Komitas. Oh, you don't want me to go into Komitas. The church killed Komitas, basically. It's because of Komitas that Armenian language did not disappear. It's because of Komitas that he brought our ancient music back, our ancient songs back. So that was one of the ancient songs of Komitas. Something moved in me. I've never heard it in my life. And Komitas is the Armenian Bach, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're truly Armenian, when you hear something, when you hear the truth, something will move in you. If you're truly Armenian. Obviously, you are not Armenian if you don't really care about your ancestors, you don't care about your history, you don't care about what happened to you. You're not. You're not. Just the Persians, I like Persians, I really do. I love their history. Armenians, Persians, they never had issues with each other. They had the same religion. And they destroyed them. Islam destroyed Persians. Beautiful Persia. Christianity destroyed Armenia, beautiful Armenia. These people were giving to the world, not taking. These Armenians were giving to the world, not taking. And they destroyed that. I hope this helped you. Շնորհակալ եմ, որ ինձ լսեցիք։ Երևի կօգնի շատերի։ Ով որ իսկական հայ է, կզգա ճիշտությունը։ Շատ խելացի ձևով չբացատրեցի։ Ով որ հայի խառնուրդ է, չգիտես ինչի խառնուրդ է, կատի ինձի։ Եվ դա նորմալ երևույթ է։ Ես ուղղակի շատ ուրախ եմ, որ ճիշտությունը իմացա։ Շատ ուրախ եմ։ I'm so grateful to know the truth. I really am. The truth shall set you free.